Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Oba's Trending Gist, where we dissect the hottest topics shaking up Nigerian's political landscape. So, today, we are diving straight into a fiery exchange that got everyone talking. George Akume, the secretary to the government of the Federation, has dropped a political bombshell directly challenging Peter Obi's presidential aspiration with a rather pointed question. He suggests that if Obi couldn't rescue Anambra State, how then could he possibly rescue an entire nation like Nigeria? It's a bold statement reflecting the intense political rivalry and the constant scrutinization of past performance in our current political discourse. So let's watch the clip first, then we'll break it all down. So sit back and take a watch.
What is people who are hanging around talking about coming to rescue Nigeria? Which Nigeria? If Peter Obi could not rescue Anambra, he's talking of rescuing 36 states and Abuja. All these other people, I don't want to mention their names. They came, they saw, they didn't conquer. Even in their states. The way forward is what the Maxim has already said. It's like differences without division, rivalry in fellowship. We love this country. And we have to borrow from the example of Mr. President. He's a Muslim. He's at home with all of us, Christian, Muslims, traditionalists. Nigeria is a huge country on the move, and under his direction, we know that we are going to reach the promised land. I knew he inherited a very bad economy. We're out of it today. Our GDP is growing at 4.4%. It's a record, and what you have in our foreign reserve is also a record from zero to $42 billion. What is people who are hanging around talking about coming to rescue Nigeria? Which Nigeria? If Peter Obi could not rescue Anambra, he's talking of rescuing 36 states and Abuja. All these other people, I don't want to mention their names. They came, they saw, they didn't conquer. Even in their states. I think you are a journalist and you also have to ask questions. I know what the federal government is doing. And you should also be interested in what is taking place in the sub-nationalities as well. All we want to say, and rightly and correctly too, is that we are on the right track. We are being celebrated because we are doing the right thing under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The signs are already there. We're coming up. We're coming up and strong and solid. What is
Well, there you have it. George Akume, the secretary to the government of the Federation, certainly didn't hold back. His central argument, as we heard, revolves around the premise that if Peter Obi, a former governor, could not rescue Anambra State during his tenure, then his ambition to rescue Nigeria is questionable. He dismisses those who he calls people hanging around talking about coming to rescue Nigeria as individuals who came, they saw, they didn't conquer even in their own states. Akume then pivoted to praise the current administration under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, highlighting what he considers significant economic achievements. He claimed that Nigeria's GDP is now growing at 4.4%, a record, and that foreign reserves have increased from zero to $42 billion. He emphasized that Nigeria is a huge country on the move and under Tinubu's direction. They are confident of reaching a promised land, assuring that we are on the right track because they are doing the right thing. He concluded by stating that the current government enjoys broad support across Christian, Muslim, and traditional lines. It's clear Akume's remarks aimed to bolster the current government's image while simultaneously discrediting a prominent opposition figure by challenging his track record and perceived capacity for national leadership. Now, let's take a critical look at what Akume said. First, his direct comparison between rescuing a state and rescuing a country raises some important questions. While a state governorship is certainly a crucial leadership role, the scale, complexity, and constitutional framework of governing a federated nation like Nigeria are vastly different. A state leader operates within the confines of federal policies, whereas a national leader sets those policies. Critics might argue that assessing a candidate's suitability for national office solely based on their state-level performance without considering broader economic and political context or the specific powers of each office is an oversimplification. Secondly, Akume's claim of Nigeria's GDP growing at 4.4% and foreign reserves hitting 42 billion from zero requires closer scrutiny. While economic growth is positive, the impact on the average Nigerian's daily life, especially concerning inflation and the cost of living, is a major concern. Many Nigerians are still grappling with high food prices and reduced purchasing power. A robust critical take would question if these macroeconomic figures translate into tangible improvements for the populace, or if there's a disconnect between official statistics and lived realities. The assertion of foreign reserves starting from zero also seems hyperbolic, as reserves would typically fluctuate rather than starting from absolute zero, especially for a resource-rich nation like Nigeria. Finally, Akume's phrase, differences without division, rivalry in fellowship, while sounding unifying, immediately followed a strong attack on political opponents. This juxtaposition highlights a common tension in Nigerian politics: call for unity often coexists with deeply divisive rhetoric. True fellowship might deem a major respectful engagement with opposing viewpoints rather than outright dismissal. It's crucial for leaders to foster an environment where constructive criticism and diverse opinions are not just tolerated but seen as essential for progress. So, what's your take on Judge Akume's comment? Do you agree with his assertion or assessment of Peter Obi's track record and the current administration's performance? Or do you think his arguments are overly simplistic and politically motivated? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already so you don't miss out on more trending gist from our channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.